So as we discussed earlier in understanding computers, your computer is one big file system. It is a big storage device that is made up of many files and folders. How that is all managed is you are given a application called Windows Explorer. Let's now go to Windows Explorer. I'm sure you'll be very familiar with it. There are a number of ways we can get to it. On our taskbar at the very bottom, our task menu, there we go, we have Windows Explorer. Click on it and it loads it up. So that's one way. Another way is on my desktop you can see I have a number of folders there. If I double click on any of them, it brings up Windows Explorer. Another way is I could right click on the Windows orb, and if I right click on it you can see there is a Open Windows Explorer. And then the final way is if you click on the Start button and click on any one of these up here, documents, pictures, music, even Graham Hall, then what it will do is open up Windows Explorer. Let's explore Windows Explorer. So I'm going to go back to this folder here. You'll see that this is the one that had the Mary Poppins Excel in it from an earlier exercise. At the very top you have what could be called the breadcrumbs. What this allows you to do is if I just click on any of these arrows, I can go to another area of the folder. Or I could actually go and navigate to one of the child, either electric or gas. So if I click on electric, you can see that I have this breadcrumb here, and I've gone down into the electric folder. If I want to move back to the parent folder, I just click on that word. So you've got a bit of navigation there. Windows Explorer also on the left hand side has some very common areas. It has the libraries that we'll talk about later on. It has your main computer, which shows you all of your file systems connected to it. So for example in this here I can see I have my C drive, which is where all my computer files are stored. And I also have my DVD drive, but if I had plugged in my iPhone or a camera or anything like that, they will be here as well. I also have my network items. If you are connected to a network at the school, you probably are, you'll probably have a number of network locations here. I'm going to click back now and I go back to where I was previously. So this back and forward is a way to, similar to if you surf the internet, to go move forward and back to where you have been previously. There's a way of actually seeing these particular information. So at the moment I'm seeing it in a list format, and right here you have a slider that allows me to see it in different formats. I could perhaps see it in extra large icons. If you're actually looking at photos, this is quite a nice way to see it. If you want to have lots of photos, you might want to see the large icons. These are called thumbnails, these views that you see, and sometimes they give you a glimpse as to what actually is that file. I can move down again to the next level down, or even smaller to the small icons. A very common way of seeing your files, though, is as in details. This is actually my preference and how I normally set up my folders to see them. It's very similar to the list what you had before of kind of you see folders and you also see the files within that. But also you can see when it was last modified. So if I click on this, it will now organize it with the most recently modified file at the top. If you're searching in a large folder and you want a particular picture, if I clicked on that, it would organize them by the type, so I'd only have pictures in a certain area. If you know it's a video and it's a real large file, you can organize it by size. So by clicking on any of these headers, you automatically sort these contents of this folder. Another useful property is the preview pane. It's just right here, this icon here. I can toggle the preview pane on or off. But if Windows recognizes the files, what it can do is it can show you the content. So here I've clicked on that Excel, and as soon as I click on it, you can see that it's actually showing me a preview of that Excel. And there we go, that's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that word that I'd put in there. So it allows you to glimpse at photos, glimpse at documents, glimpse at spreadsheets, providing Windows knows how to recognize the file. Very, very useful way of previewing before you actually open the file. There we go. So I suppose the last final thing to show is the search bar. Here in the top right, as well as in the bottom left of Windows, this searches the whole area. This allows you to provide a focus search on an area. So now I'm just focusing within this folder. So again, I can search for the word Mary, and it shows up that particular file, Mary Poppins. And let's now try and search for the word super. And again, because the word super is within this file, it returns that file. So it's a very quick way to do a more refined search. And if I wanted to, I could also then take that search and I could apply it to the internet, to a particular location, the whole computer, or the libraries. So Windows Explorer allows you a little bit more control on the search than the default Windows search in the bottom left. There we go. Now let's look at, in the later exercises, more about Windows Explorer and what we can do.